Well, what a big welcome to everyone. We want to thank you so much for coming to our presentation. We are so excited to share with you this. We think it is the most exciting cruise opportunity that, well, it's for sure the most exciting one we have ever done. And we're thrilled to have you here to learn about the expedition through Aurora Expeditions Svalbard. So let's go ahead and get started. Just to kind of go through what we're going to do, we're going to talk really quickly about our agency, um, and we're going to share the Aurora Expeditions experience with you, the Svalbard experience, and then we're going to share highlights of our trip that we took in 2023. We've done several expedition cruises. We've done over 80 regular cruises, and this still ranks as our top travel experience. It was just the most amazing thing we've ever done. So it's kind of fun. I get excited to talk about it. Just to tell you really quickly about our agency, especially those that are watching this on YouTube, we've been in business for 13 years. We're an award-winning travel agency. We look for unique opportunities to send our guests on. We love escorting our groups, and we are here to make sure that everything on your vacation exceeds expectations. Here's just some advantages of working with us. You've got an insider, you've got expert planning assistance. I'm easy to get a hold of, and best of all, we have a better than direct price. So we have a guaranteed low price that's better than direct. So let's talk really quickly about what an expedition style cruise is. So for those of you that go on regular cruises or big cruise ships or even medium-sized cruise ships, you've got lot of other passengers on there. You kind of have over the top entertainment. You have dressy nights. You're basically on a floating resort. And if you go to some of these remote destinations, like maybe Alaska or Antarctica or even Svalbard, you're only going to have scenic sailing in these destinations. You simply don't disembark and go explore. An expedition cruise is completely the opposite of that. And I'll talk really quickly. I was having a conversation before we got on the ship with a couple that was in our group. I said, "Oh, you guys cruise a lot?" And they kind of said, "Oh, you mean like on those big ships where people just lay out by the pool?" No, we don't do that. And I'm like, well, okay, I go on those big ships, but I don't lay out by the pool. But okay, I get it. This is something completely different and a different type of experience. So the expedition ship is like 120 guests. You're on this modern purpose-built icebreaker. You have complete immersion. The focus is totally on their destination with nothing like crazy entertainment or anything to distract you. So it's just about experience the beauty and the wildlife of the destination. I'll talk briefly. So there's a picture of us on a typical cruise. We're all dressed up for the dressy night. And we had a cruise that was booked that was supposed to visit Svalbard, but then Norway changed the law that prohibited large ships from going there. So we're like, I don't think I want to do that cruise now. Let's see if I find out something else. So we found this 2-week Aurora expedition to Svalbard, had the most amazing time. And since then, we've done expeditions to the Arctic with other companies. We've done Galapagos with Celebrity. We've done an expedition to Iceland with Lindblad. We've done South Pacific with Seabourn. And this year, in a couple of weeks, we're going to do the Northwest Passage again with Aurora Expeditions. And we're so excited because we're coming back in 27. We're bringing a group, and we're going to share this amazing experience with all of our clients that go with us. So people ask all the time, who can enjoy an expedition cruise? Well, I can say if you can go out and play a round of golf or shop till you drop on Black Friday, you can enjoy an expedition cruise. It's really not that strenuous. You do need to be in generally good health, and you need to be mobile, but not extremely fit. So you need to be able to get in and out of the zodiacs, but all the walks and things that you do to experience the destination, they're all set at different levels. So you can choose the level that works with your fitness level. And the zodiac rides simply, require being able to sit up and support yourself while you're riding around these destinations in these zodiacs. So I have a little video. Of course, Aurora Expeditions is known for their expeditions to Antarctica. That's kind of where they started. Then they started going to the northern Arctic region. And they also do some expeditions in other places around the world. So I have a little video that just kind of talks about the Arctic and beyond. So I'm going to show that for you real quick. And of course, that video is a little bit old. It was from 2025,
We're
or
still in
letting you
25.
know, yeah, letting you know when the 2025 brochures came out. But 2027 is now available. And this is our date that we're taking our group. It's June 24th to July 4th. It is Aurora Expeditions Sylvia Earle, which is the ship we took last time we're up there. And it's a 12-night Svalbard Odyssey. It is round trip from Oslo with a charter flight that's going to take you to Longyearbyen in Spitsbergen/Svalbard.
Which is
So,
included in the price.
yeah, so we choose to do our hosted expeditions. You saw in that other slide that we've done a lot of different expedition companies. Um, but we really like partnering with Aurora because they are number one in destination immersion. They win all kinds of awards. They're 120 passengers. They give us exclusive contracted group savings, so we're able to pass that on to you, and you're able to have, a discounted price with us. They are absolute stewards of the environment. And again, we had that previous experience with them that was so amazing. So my next video that I have coming up is from our expedition director. And I think he probably filmed this a few weeks after we took our cruise in 2023, and has some great things about what makes Svalbard so amazing.
I would travel to Svalbard because it's an incredible opportunity to get very close to the North Pole because we can go as far north on that trip as we can on just about any trip we do, above 80 degrees for the most part. You are entering polar bear country. This is it dictates how we run our trips. It dictates how we run our landings. Everything. It's all about being in this other world. Svalbard has got the great walrus haulouts. They're just incredible. It's got beautiful walks that you can do, but it also has got after Antarctica and Greenland, it's got the third largest ice cap in the world. It's got huge bird cliffs, and it's got such a diversity of landings and history of exploration and hunting and trapping and the whole thing. It's just incredible.
Okay. Now
Hope we get
I'm
Howard
gonna.
again in 27. He was great.
Oh, I'd love to have Howard again. He is so great.
I'm hoping we
He
get him
has.
next month in the Northwest Passage.
He's an incredible personality, incredible adventurer, has accomplished so many interesting things in his life. So before I go into the next video, I'm going to get a little lead in. This is my first expedition cruise. This is our very first day out, our very first Zodiac ride. And we're riding around, and I'm sitting there going, what the heck am I doing? I was like, what am I here? This is so weird. I'm such a fish out of water. And then all of a sudden, the belugas showed up, and that's my next video. So you can see we had these amazing up close experiences with so many. This was our very first little bit of wildlife we saw. Now, this next video is going to be of our walruses. And what's interesting is we had some professional marketing video and photographers on our cruise. And so a lot of the scenes that you see in their professional videos were actually filmed during our cruise. We had so many amazing experiences.
And you actually get that close to the walruses, so.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. They have a very careful protocol, the way you approach the walruses so that you don't disturb them. Seeing those huge haul outs, it's absolutely amazing. It's amazing how huge those creatures are. They're just enormous. This next one is a video that we took at a place called Texas. What was it called? Texas Bar. Texas Bar. There was actually a trapper's hut that's out there. And then you'll see two glaciers in the background. We actually later that day took the Zodiacs out and Zodiaced along those glaciers, but I'll just show you this. It's absolutely stunning scenery. it just goes on, and it's so amazing. And then here is a little video of us doing our Zodiac rides around those glaciers later in the day. So same day. And the thing that's so amazing is whether you have a beautiful clear day like that or you have a foggy day, the scenery is absolutely spectacular. So I'm going to tell you a little bit now about Aurora Expeditions and why we feel like they're such a strong company to partner with when you're going to these remote areas of the world. So they're an award-winning company. They have won World's Best Expedition Cruise several times. They won it in 23 and 24. And here's what it's a taste. So they are the pioneer in expedition travel to the polar regions. They were founded by Greg Mortimer, who is a legendary adventurer from Australia. He was the first Australian to climb Mount Everest, I believe.
To summit it, yeah.
Yeah, to summit it. And I think it was without oxygen, could have been without oxygen. I just know he was the first Australian to do it. And they are all about adventure, discovery, exploration. They started their company. Greg would hire an old Russian icebreaker and take friends and family with him on these polar expeditions and these old Russian icebreakers. Eventually, they grew the company to have their own ships, and eventually they owned or chartered full-time those Russian icebreakers. And then in 2020, and just recently, in the last 5 years, I believe, they bought their own Olstein X-Bow ships, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. They are a certified B Corp, and that is a certification of like environmental stewardship and having a certain impact on the environment, being socially, environmentally conscious. And they are certified for that. They are 100% carbon neutral company, and there are about 6,000 companies that have achieved this award or this certification across 153 different industries. So they're very proud that they have that moniker. Citizen Science Program is another important part of what they do. There are not very many people traveling to these remote areas, so they do things like bird surveys. You can upload your pictures to a website called Happy Whales. If the tail is good, they can identify the whale and kind of track where that whale is throughout the world. They do beach cleanups, which we participated in several spots in Svalbard. And then they also have a study that's ongoing in microplastics. Here you can see some people, they are, in the sand measuring the amount of microplastics just to kind of understand how that's having an impact on the environment. They have lots of different activities, and this is determined by your destination. In Svalbard, it is going to be your Zodiac rides, your hikes and walks. Of course, they have a professional photographer there to guide you. They even have special photographer Zodiacs where maybe they take a little bit more time and slower pace to make sure you're getting that photograph. They have lecturers that know about everything. People are experts on geology, polar bears, marine biology, everything. They include the polar plunge for free. And they also have some bird guides, and they have historians on board. And again, that citizen science program. Now, the optional activities are based on destination, and the only optional one that they are able to offer safely in the Arctic is the kayaking. So if you're interested in doing, yeah, at least in Svalbard, if you're interested in doing kayaking, you sign up for it for the whole time, and that is kind of like your domain. You can do an alternate and go on a Zodiac instead, but you're signed up for the whole cruise to do kayaking. Your boat and your suit is fitted to you, and the people that did it on our cruise just had an amazing experience. There's a picture of the kayaks and the dry suit that they fit you in. And then there's some people in their kayaks. You can either do a one-person or a two-person. Here's an example of some of the hikes that they do. This is, I believe, in Antarctica early in the season with a lot of snow. Most of the hikes that we did in Svalbard were across tundra. So that was a little bit different. Their expedition guides are the most amazing part of your experience. And the nice thing about it is there's no separation between you and them. At dinner, if you go and sit at a table for 4 and there's just 2 of you, you're going to have 2 expedition guides sit down with you, and you're going to talk about different things that you experience and ask questions and learn. So the main dining room is open to the expedition guides and the guests, and it is a great chance to build that camaraderie, that understanding, that learning moment from them, and share with them the different experiences. I mean, we had dinner with Howard a couple of times, and it was just, we talked about some of the different things he did. It was so amazing to learn his story. They really do have the best expedition team. They're always going to have hundreds of years of combined experience. They have them in every walk of life: naturalists, marine biologists, geologists, historians, ecologists, glaciologists, ornithologists, everything. And they do have a pretty high rate of female expedition team leaders. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense because more and more women are getting into those sciences and doing some of these more adventurous things. Now, here's a look at 2 of their 3 ships. They've got the Greg Mortimer. That's the one we're taking to Antarctica in 2026. And they've got the Sylvia Earle. That is the ship that we sailed before, and it's the one we're taking in 2027. And then coming this year, it hasn't released yet, but they're going to have the Douglas Mawson. So this is their 3rd of these beautiful purpose-built Holstein X-bow ships. And oops, I skipped a page. Hang on. So this is actually one of my pictures of Sylvia Earle that I took when we were on that expedition. And I want to point out this funny shape on the front of the ship. So you can see that front of the ship, to me, it kind of looks like the head of an orca. And it is exactly designed to mimic that shape so that when the ship is going through areas with rough seas, it's designed to cut through the waves rather than bouncing off of them. And this is a polar class ship. It can break through first-year ice. And it's really amazing because the ship can just glide through that. It's quite interesting. The accommodations are very comfortable. This is a typical balcony stateroom on the Sylvia Earle. This is a picture of the observation lounge. It's just above the bridge deck. And you have that, not only all those picture windows, but if you look, you can just step outside and you can stand along that deck. And it's a great place for whale watching. And the nice thing is you're sitting up there, you're looking out the window, somebody's out there all bundled up and they see a whale and they wave, and then everybody goes out there to look at the whale. Again, it's your whole focus is on the destination. And this time of year, there's going to be nearly 24-hour sun. I think it is 24-hour sun. So you will have a chance to observe wildlife even late into the evening. The bathrooms have this wonderful heated floor, so that's great if you're going out in the morning, your gloves get a little wet, you just put them on the floor, go have lunch. When you come back, they're all dry and they're warmed up and they're ready to go for your afternoon Zodiac ride. This is the lecture hall where you have all your presentations. It also kind of doubles as bar. There's a bar right outside. You can get your drinks and go in and hear the lecture and relax. This is the library that's on the front of the ship. And so the Citizen Science Lab is downstairs, and then you go up the stairs, and that's where the library is. And it really is a beautiful light-filled area with that atrium there with the light coming in. So beautiful ship. If you need to stay in shape and the hikes aren't quite enough, they have a wonderful gym on Aurora Expeditions. And then your mudroom. So what I love about their mudroom is that it was purpose-built. With the side doors that are right there, you step right out onto your Zodiac. And I have a little video of that. So everything is well thought of. You don't have to walk down the hall in your muck boots. You store your muck boots here. Your life jacket gets stored here, and you can even store your coat. So when they call your turn as your group to go down and get on the Zodiacs, you go down here, you suit up, and you're out the side door, and it's right there. That Zodiacs are stored on a lower, not a super high level, kind of, I think it's like the 2nd or 3rd level. So it's very easy to get those Zodiacs on and off the ship. Some other ships that have been repurposed store their Zodiacs on the top. So it's a lot longer distance to get them in the water. They are able to get those Zodiacs in the water much quicker. There's a look at the back of the ship where those Zodiacs are stored, and the back door. So this is where the people that are doing the kayaking are coming out and getting on the kayaks. And this is also where we did the polar plunge. And there's that crane that they use to get the zodiacs on and off. I'm able to do it very quickly. It is a relaxed, casual atmosphere. And I say casual in that, like, oh, it's so casual. You just take off your coat and whatever you had on underneath your coat with your base layer, your leggings and a pullover like what I have on. That's what you wear to dinner in the dining room. And they do have this wonderful barbecue that they do one night outdoors. And again, they pick it on a night where the weather's pretty good and you see everybody's relaxed, enjoying, a lot of different ages. It is really a lot of fun. And there are solo travelers, couples, groups, a little bit of everything. So here's kind of a summary of the Aurora difference. They really make a positive impact whenever they travel. Like I said, those beach cleanups, there's so much trash that washes up on those beaches in the Arctic and Antarctica, and it comes from all over the world. And they're able to, they pick it up. I mean, we found a bottle of Russian air freshener on a beach up there. Most of it is fishing gear, but we do find some weird trash up there too. They have those very small ships. They're purpose-built, brand new ships. They have wonderful enrichment and education. And because they only have 120 passengers, you're not doing staggered disembarkations. Everybody's able to get off the ship at once and explore on those zodiacs. They have that great activity program. And of course, those guides make all the difference. They really hire the best and most interesting guides. Again, I want to point out, this is my own picture that I took in one of our landing sites. And this is also one of the pictures that I took kind of on a foggy day. You can see a zodiac and some of the icebergs that you get to see. So some extras that are included with Aurora are going to be your pre-voyage accommodation. So for this cruise, it's a one-night hotel stay in Oslo. And then and they're going to pick you up from the airport, take you to the hotel in Oslo. And then the next day, they're going to take you to the airport again, where you take your charter flight to Longyearbyen. And then they pick you up and you get a tour of Longyearbyen, and then they transfer you to the ship. So it's very seamless. And they almost always have a tour plan, because you're going to get in, I don't know what time that charter flight gets in. Let's say it gets in at noon, and you're not going to embark the ship until 4. So during that time, they give you a wonderful tour of Longyearbyen, which I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. They're also got all of these included extras. So all your shore excursions, your hiking, all that stuff, there's no extra charge for that. That's all included with your cruise. Your house drinks with dinner. So it's beer and wine with dinner. They have a couple of cocktail parties too that include maybe a mixed drink of the day. You get Starlink Wi-Fi. So that's the best thing. Even in these remote parts of the world, you get that wonderful Wi-Fi system. You get your 3-in-1 waterproof expedition jacket, your use of muck boots, so you don't have to pay to rent the muck boots. There is a professional photographer that's taking pictures of everyone, and they put together, I will show you this again at the end when I'm not in the little box, but you get this souvenir book when they mail it to you a couple weeks later, and it is with all the professional pictures that were taken during your expedition and all the notes of what everyone did each day. So I'm now going to share with you our personal experience on the Sylvia Earle. Again, these are my own pictures, so be sure to look at the background. This is all in Svalbard. If you don't know where Svalbard is, here's a good idea. You can get an idea. It is north of Greenland, north of Iceland, and north of northern Norway. It is very remote. It is governed by Norway, but it kind of has its own special, I don't know how to explain it, its own special immigration status. It's kind of like anybody can come there and work or build a business. It's a very unusual place. Again, pictures of those glaciers on a sunny day or a foggy day. It was absolutely amazing. We loved the Zodiac rides, and it was like being in another world. Spectacular scenery. So Howard, in his little talk, he talked about the bird cliffs. And this spire and this area here with these bird cliffs is one of the most iconic areas of Svalbard. The Arctic birds nest in these cliffs, and they just lay their little egg straight on the ledge. And then this is kind of the only time they're on land, because these are seabirds, and the rest of the time they're all out at sea. Here's a look at some of those birds. These are guillemots, and they are such fat little birds. They have to flap their wings like crazy. And then you can see how they have this very tight real estate here. It's like the world's largest egg incubator condo. And that's where they live during the summer. And then as soon as the hatchlings are ready to fly the coop, then they are all out to sea again. This is one night when this is at night. This is, I think, probably 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And you can see we were sailing through this area where all these walruses were hauled out on the ice. It was absolutely amazing experience. Again, the whales, we saw lots of blue whales. They're kind of hard to take pictures of. So there's my blue whale picture. I wasn't quick enough, but there's one of my beluga whales as well. And I am officially a crazy woman because I did the polar plunge. I wore a life jacket, and actually I'm going to tell you, because I've done a polar plunge with and without a life jacket, I recommend the life jacket because you pop right up. You don't sink down, and that way you don't get as cold. I have a video next to my polar plunge.
You were the only
there I
clown that
am.
wore the life jacket.
There it is.
And Steve is making fun of me with the life jacket, but
Keep smiling, Suzanne.
She's so dumb. It's the dumbest thing I've ever done.
how many seconds? It felt like an eternity in that cold water.
Yeah, good. Your legs going.
Okay, and the next video is our friend Ronnie, who lives in Svalbard year-round. His wife is a school teacher there, and he works for Visit Svalbard. We actually visited, and we were in Svalbard with Oceana last summer, and Ronnie took us around, but watch his polar plunge. It's much better than mine. He was bothered. I think, but it's a Nordic tradition to take ice baths, so maybe that's why. So then here's our evening barbecue. What a wonderful time that was. The food was delicious. It was a great, yeah, right there at the polar ice cap. That you can see the ice cap is behind the ship there. That's where we were during that barbecue.
Almost 81 degrees north there.
Yeah. And that was just so much fun. Everybody, it was after the polar plunges, so everybody was in a celebratory mood. Then just to kind of show you what to expect as far as food and service. Wonderful food, presentations. Now, breakfast and lunch are a buffet, and dinner is sit-down gourmet. They on the Sylvia Earle, they have two restaurants. They have the one that Steve is pictured in here talking to the waiter, which is kind of their specialty steakhouse. It just gives you a different place to dine. There's no fee to go there or anything. It's just kind of an alternate dining place. You just need to make reservations. And again, here's some pictures of the food. Very beautiful. I mean, they have great chefs. It was always beautifully presented in a wide variety. Now, in this next video, I want to show you how easy it is because of the location of their side doors and the generally very calm waters in Svalbard, how easy it is to get in and out of the Zodiacs. And there you go. You're ready to go. So the Zodiacs upload so easily, again, because of the water and because of the location. They've really put a lot of thought into it. So just a couple more pictures. This is us in front of that polar ice cap on Nordsudland. That's this area here. Again, you don't know where you're going to go. This picture was our map on the first couple of days. It's kind of where we went, but you know, the plan was to go up here. So, you know, how we're going, no, the ice conditions work better. We're going to go south first and we're going to go here. So they really adapt your expedition experience to whatever the conditions are. So it'll be a completely different cruise, and we'll probably have maybe a few of the same stops, but most of our landing sites are going to be different. So we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a very different experience. We loved meeting our expedition team. I don't know how to say more about that. They were just totally awesome and very enthusiastic. And Next one is the video of the rooms, just because I want people to see how really nice the accommodations are.
All right, this is our room on the Sylvia Earle. There's all of our stuff, including our complimentary jacket and reusable water bottles. And then we have the nice Arctic scene here behind the bed, and then behind the sofa we have some penguins because the ship does Antarctica in our winter, their summer. We have a nice walkout balcony here. Desk, storage. Is this a mini fridge? Yeah, we got a little mini fridge in there. Storage here. And then I'm gonna go show the bathroom. Nice size bathroom. All right. Here's a look at the bathroom. There I am. Little hat there. Nice big shower. So very, very nice accommodations. Nice big closet here. I think we're going to be very comfortable on this
11 days or however long. It was real. And so your base camp is very comfortable. Again, it's not the old Russian icebreaker. This is your very nicely appointed, very, very large. You saw the big screen TV there. They have movies. So, you know, if you're just kind of expeditioned out and you need to chill one night, you can go back to your room and watch movies. They have tons of movies on there, both classic and newer movies that are free to watch. So it's a wonderful experience. So just in summary of our experience, this is why we're coming back there. We were fully immersed in the destination. We are not outdoorsy, and we loved it. So that's I mean, you know, outdoorsy for me is drinking wine on my patio, you know. It was just an amazing experience. You can see in this picture here, there's some reindeer, all kinds of different animals you see. So this is the reason that Aurora Expeditions is our preferred supplier for both Antarctica and the Arctic. We're taking groups, or we have groups for 26 and 27 in Antarctica, and then we're escorting this group. We're so excited to return here with a group of people and share this experience with them in 2027. So we hope that you'll call and join us. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. So this, you can see, this is the map. This is your itinerary. This is as specific as they get. It can be anywhere within that circle during your days, and you are going to fly on a charter flight from Oslo to Longyearbyen, which you see on the map. There's actually a very large airport there, and that is the northernmost city in the world. It has about 2,000 people that live there year round. So it's quite an interesting place to visit. And I have another video with one of our expedition guides, and I do believe that this video was filmed on our expedition. Heather was a guide on our expedition, and we did have those marketing video content creators on board with us, and they were interviewing quite a few of the expedition teams. So here's what Heather, who was our polar bear and geology expert, had to say about visiting Svalbard.
My name's Heather. I've been working for Aurora. This is my 3rd season, and I am a naturalist. There's many things about the Arctic that excite me, and I would have to say maybe top of the list would be the wide open spaces and the feeling that while there's been humans up here, it's very few compared to other places, and on top of that, the amazing wildlife. I love everything about working with the team. We have a lot of fun. Everybody works hard. Everybody is kind of expected to do well and do their best at their jobs, and so everybody does. If you're on the fence about coming to visit the Arctic, then I would say if you don't try it, you'll never know whether you would like it or not. So my personal advice would be go for it. I think you'll find it pretty special. One fun fact about Svalbard. Goodness me, of the 3,000 bears in the Barents Sea population, only 300 of them use Svalbard, and yet still we go searching for them and often find them.
All right. Okay, so those are some great videos. You can find those on the Aurora Expeditions YouTube page, all kinds of interesting things there. But this is the date of our journey, June 24th to July 4th. Again, it's on the Sylvia Earle, so it'll be like going back home for us. Your day one is in Oslo with the transfer to your hotel. Then your flight along your van embarkation. Days 3 to 9, you're exploring all different landing sites in Svalbard. And then you'll disembark. They'll give you a little free time in Longyearbyen and then take our charter flight back to Oslo. Now, once you get back to Oslo, your overnight hotel accommodations, which are probably going to be required, are not included. A bunch of us just stayed at one of the hotels at the Oslo airport. It made it so simple. We got off the plane and just walked to our hotel. And then we flew out the next day from Oslo. So made it pretty easy. We've got category A, B, and C balcony cabins in our group allocation. Those are the ones that we have the special discounted pricing on. These are the cabins majority of people would be interested in booking. But I do want to show you there are some other cabins. This is the Superior balcony, which actually has an accessible bathroom. I don't know that you would have to really talk if you really need accessibility, whether or not they would be able to accommodate you, because you certainly, if you can't walk, you can't get in and out of a Zodiac. But if you wanted to enjoy the expedition just from the ship, I would have to work and see if they had a way to get you on and off the ship, because you do embark via Zodiac. So just keep that in mind. This is a junior suite. So this is the bedroom section here. And if you look on the other side, there is a living area in there too, a larger bathroom and plenty of closet space. This is the captain's suite, which is kind of laid out simply, just a little bit bigger. And here's a look at the deck plan. So the majority of cabins are going to be here on deck 4 or deck 6, deck 4 or deck 6. All good locations. The ship is very quiet. We didn't hear noise from anything. The only noise you hear in the morning is Howard or whoever your expedition director getting on the intercom, because they do give a little wake-up call. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 7:30. We're getting Zodiacs in the water. Time to get up and go to breakfast, and we should be loading Zodiacs at 8:30 or whatever it is they say. Now, if you were just tired because maybe you were up all night watching whales, you can just roll over and go back to sleep. You just call the desk and say back to sleep. So you don't have to get off the ship when they call that. Here's a look at our pricing, and we've locked in a tremendous savings for our guests. We're so excited to be able to offer this. So if you look at the different categories, you've got the category C. That's going to be running about a little bit over $15,000 a person, and you compare that to the Aurora direct price, it's almost, it's an over $2,500 per person savings, $2,900. So some of these are $3,000, $3,300 in savings. So we're really pleased to be able to offer this with you. It's because
and we're 2 years, we're 2 years out. That Aurora price is going to continue to grow, or all prices will be held.
Yeah, our prices are held as long as there's cabins available in that category on the ship. So we're holding our cabins kind of as a separate allocation until September 29th. And then after that, the pricing is still good, but the cabins can be booked by anybody, through any booking channel. And so, once all the category C's are gone, even though we had a price locked in, we don't have a cabin we can put you in.
This cruise sells out every year, so.
Yeah, it sells out, and it sells out early. We're pleased to give you pricing on the larger suites. We do have a $250 per person onboard credit. It's our webinar special for new bookings in our group. And if you, what I was going to say is, you got to book by the end of the month to get that $250 onboard credit. And it is the things you can use that for. So you get your beer and wine with meals. You can buy your cocktails out of dinner hour, if you want to. They do have a massage therapist and a spa on board. So if you wanted to treat yourself to a massage, they have a gift shop. So those are all the things that you can spend that little bit of extra money on. So again, to go over all of these inclusions, they're so inclusive. I'm not going to read through all of these again, but it's very inclusive. There are a few additional costs. So of course, you've got your air to fly round trip to Oslo. You've got your gratuities, which are $15 per person per day. And that goes to your hospitality and your dining staff. If you want to do the kayaking, you add that on for the whole adventure, and there is a fee for that. And then again, any alcoholic beverages outside of meal times, but they're very reasonably priced. They're not crazy prices. And I would just encourage you to book now for the best selection of cabins. I think the ship is still pretty wide open. They just released these dates. We just took out our group. This is our first time to talk about it. So book now. You'll get the best cabin availability. We do have, it's a $2,500 per person deposit, and that is non-refundable. I need to repeat that again. That is non-refundable. But Aurora is pretty flexible, and they may, at their sole discretion, allow you to transfer that $2,500 deposit per person to another expedition. So say you book this now and next summer your daughter gets engaged and she's planning her wedding the week of the cruise. Then we'll work with Aurora, we'll put you on a different cruise, or maybe you could even put you on Antarctica or another expedition like to a tropical location or Scotland. So, whatever we need to do, we'll work with Aurora. They have to give me approval for that, but they're pretty flexible.
Right, we've had it happen twice where we've had people had to cancel, and in both cases they moved the deposit to new bookings.
Yeah. I think it's just, they don't want you to wait to the last minute and then you want to go on an expedition that's sold out. And obviously, no, I can't let you do that. But in August of 2026 will be when we'll be able to add the round trip air to Oslo. And I'm not expecting that to be much more for economy, depending on your gateway city, $1,000 to $1,500 a person. So that would be additional. They also require a $250,000 emergency evacuation travel protection policy. It doesn't have to cover cancellation, so you can buy a standalone policy that just gives you emergency medical evacuation, and it has to have that $250,000 limit as the minimum. We carry an annual policy where I think we have $500,000 per person. Because we travel to such remote areas all the time, and so those are not super expensive. You're talking maybe, depending on your age and the length of trip, $75 to $300 a person. So that's not super expensive. So again, I want to show you. What was that other slide? I'm confused. I have, it's different pricing. I'm not sure which pricing is correct. Somehow I ended up with two slides with different pricing. So call me, I'll get you clarification on the pricing. It's very similar. Maybe this is just the same slide. I'm sorry. I'm confusing myself with my own slide. For some reason, I had
just
this
because
in
you
here
have
twice.
Antarctic Circle on there. I think it's the same slide.
Okay. It's the same slide. I had a different one in there. Okay. The Northwest Passage, Steve and I are going in a month or a little bit over a month. If this is something on your bucket list, this is something amazing you can do with Aurora Expeditions. The 29-day Nuke to Nome, we can still get you on there. It was running about $39K per person. They do have a shorter one that goes from Nuke to Cambridge Bay. So call me. I'll see if there's any availability. We'd love to have you join us.
You'll really be amongst the pioneers there. The ships haven't started going through the Northwest Passage until about 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah. So
and even then, there's only one, handful a year that go.
Only a handful. Yeah, it's an amazing experience. So just going to go over real briefly some of our other group and escorted cruises, because we do more than expedition. We do traditional cruises as well. We do have expeditions going to Antarctica in 2026. I believe there's still one more cabin left on that expedition, and we're selling it for an extra 10% off. So it's about $18,895 per person. And that's based on double occupancy or single share.
We are escorting this group too. We have about 20 cabins, I think.
Yeah, so we're escorting that one, and then we've got Antarctica in 2 ways in 2026. You could do with Celebrity. It's a scenic sailing only. You can see there's a picture from the ship. You sail by. We've done that twice. It was wonderful, and for a lot of people, that's the best way. It's the price point and the floating resort experience that they're looking for to see a place like Antarctica. But again, we're taking one on the Greg Mortimer. This was our original price. We've sold out of those cabins, so that's why we have that other slide with the 18K. And then we do have new Antarctic groups in 2027. We've got the Antarctic Circle. The starting price for that is about a little bit over 16K. And then a lot of people want to go see South Georgia and the Falkland Islands to see the colonies of penguins there. And it also includes the Antarctic Peninsula. That's running about 23,000 a person. And again, here's that scenic sailing on Celebrity. Again, we also have a scenic sailing one that's part of the Holland America 70-day Grand South American voyage. And that will be doing several days of scenic sailing in Antarctica. If you are an amateur or even professional astronomer and solar eclipses are your thing, we are escorting this 35-night Voyage of the Vikings with the solar eclipse next summer, July 18th. It departs Boston, and it's going to be an amazing experience. We've done a version of this. We weren't going to do it.
To Boston.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's road trip Boston. But we did a version of this a couple years ago. It was 28 days or 24 days. And we loved it. But we thought, oh, we've done that before. But then we were on our 28-day Alaska Holland, and a couple of the PR groups said, Suzanne, we booked that. Come on, go with us, go with us. And we're like, okay, twist my arm. So we booked it for next summer. There's also a version that departs from Europe. And I do have a Celebrity. Maybe I have another slide for this. There is two that go to Spain and have the solar eclipse too. Those are my Holland American ones. I do have one with Celebrity as well that still has some availability. So if you're interested in that, give me a call. I can tell you about it. If you want to do a little softer adventure to the Arctic, we have Holland America's 28-night round trip from Seattle. We just got back from that. We took out a group because we knew that people would want to do it in 2026 as well. And we're doing Scandinavian capitals in May of 2026. We're escorting this one. We've also got some river cruises coming up. We love our river cruise providers. So we're doing Bordeaux with Avalon. Again, you can find webinars on this here on our YouTube channel if you're watching this recorded. And then we've got 2 dates left in August for the Romantic Rhine with Lucerne and Lake Como. We got a webinar on that in YouTube. And then coming up in May of 2027, we are doing, this is by request, people have been asking for this, Colombian Snake River with American Cruise Line. So again, some amazing experience.
Northwest.
Yes, if you like the Mediterranean, we have got 2 fantastic cruises that you can do back to back with a custom 4-day package in Athens in between. One is on Windstar, 340 passenger ship. One is on Azamar, 750 passenger ship. Both nice small ship experiences, not a mega ship experience. Going to give you a more personalized experience in the Mediterranean. And if you want to see the Northern Lights, now I'm going to be honest, we are not going to see Northern Lights on this cruise because you know what? You have to have a dark sky. We're going to have 24-hour sun. So we are doing with Holland America a couple of different itineraries. We're escorting the 28-night one that is from Rotterdam, goes up to Norway, back to Rotterdam, and it does a transatlantic back home. So we only have to fly to Rotterdam, or it's actually Amsterdam, and then transfer to Rotterdam. Amazing dark skies. And with 14 nights in Norway in October, you are almost 100% guaranteed to see Aurora Borealis. I will say, you know, maybe if it's cloudy for the whole 2 weeks, you wouldn't see them, but wonderful experience. We've seen them in Canada. We were in Canada on an expedition cruise and we saw them and it was breathtaking. So now I'm going to leave you with a couple of pictures. Did you have a question, Steve?
No, I'm good. We're good.
Okay. This is one of my favorite pictures this is Spitsbergen, and Spitsbergen means land of the pointy mountains, and you can see how it gets his name. This is at Monaco Breen that day after we hung out at the Texas bar. And then some cuteness. This is not the best picture. It is my picture. The picture that is on the cover of the Svalbard in-depth souvenir book that they mailed to us is a lot better. But I was pretty happy because we were not very close to these polar bears. And this was a mom with her 2 cubs. And it was just the cutest thing. And you can see what a long lens I had to take this because look how big that bird in the background looks. It's because of the way that the long
Well,
lens
but you could see them with the
compresses
naked eye
things.
quite well too. I mean, not this close, but we sat there and watched them for hours.
Oh, for hours, and it was the cutest thing. And there were people who had better pictures and better video than me, and that was just an amazing experience. So, if you would like a complete quote on this Arctic voyage, or maybe any of the Antarctic voyages that Aurora does, give me a call. I'm going to save you thousands of dollars over booking direct. The way the process works is that we pick out a cabin, you and I, we pick out your cabin, we get it on hold. You have 7 days, and then you have to make the $2,500 deposit in those 7 days, and that locks in your reservation. You're going to get that $250 onboard credit, our low price guarantee, and all my expertise with this cruise line and my concierge service. So I'm really happy to present this to everyone, and excited that people are going to be going with us. So we'll go ahead and open it up to questions now. I know I did a lot of talking, so if you have
No
some
questions in the
questions.
chat box this time.
Okay, any live questions? You have
If
to
you want to ask
unmute
a
yourself.
question, yeah, need to unmute yourself.
Suzanne,
Yes.
hi. Question for you.
Okay.
So what's the difference between Silver Seas and Aurora?
Yeah, I can speak to that. They both are in the expedition space.
Right.
Silver Seas, for the majority, are using converted. Originally, they were their original smaller luxury ocean-going ships. They converted the hulls. So some of the space was not purpose-built, like the mudroom, the side arms, the storage of the Zodiacs. So that's a big difference. Their ships are going to be about 200 guests. Am I right with that, Steve?
200, 250.
Yeah.
So more guests.
And unless you're Endeavor, the Endeavor Silver Sea is the only PC6 icebreaker. The other ones can't go through ice.
Okay.
The
So
Endeavor
they have
was
the
the
Silver Cloud. I think it's a Silver Cloud and Silver Wind they use in expeditions. Those are not icebreakers. So they must go around the ice. You won't see them doing a picture like this one right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did the Arctic in Canada on Silver Wind, I think it was, and we enjoyed it. I mean,
very much enjoyed it. They did a good job. Their price point is usually going to be a little bit more expensive. They do have entertainment. So they have like a guitar player and a piano player. So and if your cruise director happens to also sing, which the one that we had was great, but he got hired by sister company Royal Caribbean. So we had a couple of little shows that he did. It was basically like he did a James Bond show, so he sang all the James Bond themes, and then he did a Frank Sinatra show, and it was fun. But the difference is
it's a
with
little more
Aurora,
all-inclusive, so they include their drinks.
Right.
They have a couple of specialty restaurants on board too, that you can dine at.
Yeah, whereas the Aurora ship, with it being so small, you only have one specialty dining restaurant, and there's no charge, but there's no charge for it on Silver Sea either. The separation between the expedition staff and the guests is a little more formal. You can invite the expedition staff to join you for dinner.
It's got to get approved, but yeah.
It's got to get approved. So, and technically Silver Sea still has a dress code, although I can tell you nobody
Not in their
followed
expedition
it.
ships, yeah.
No, there's a little bit of, I really read the material there. It says there's a dress code on the expedition ships. It's
we were on
but
it.
nobody
No
followed
code.
it. Yeah, nobody followed it.
No. we had a good time. It was a little, at times it was a little annoying where we couldn't go do the ice. It's not like, say, it's not an icebreaker. So we were much more subject to ice conditions than you would be on this ship. But we had a good time. Silver Sea is a nice time.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And they were both good times for different
taking
reasons.
out groups. We tried to work with Silver Sea, but we really couldn't get any special group pricing like Aurora gives us with the discounts.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And I would say that with Aurora, it is more immersive in the destination. they are definitely giving you more of that hands-on experience. And like I said, they have the way that observation lounge is set up on the front. Like you can sit up there and have your after dinner cocktail and somebody's out on that observation area spotting whales. And so there's nothing to distract you from what is your purpose? Why did you come here? Did you come here to listen, to be entertained by a piano player on a floating resort? Or did you come here to watch and see if you could see some blue whales, the largest animal that's ever been on the planet? So it definitely pushes you out there to see and experience more of the destination. One night, Steve stayed up. And we were sailing along this area that was heavily glaciated. And he sat there in his chairs, looked for whales. He saw whales, but he counted all the glaciers he saw that night. And he was, he slept in the next morning. I went out and did the Zodiac. I got back and I said, well, did you miss doing the Zodiac system? He was like, no, I stayed up last night and just watched those glaciers and stared at the sea. And it was the most calm moment, whales. And, and definitely it's a very friendly atmosphere on Aurora. I had those pictures. You get to know everybody on the ship. It's all open seating in the dining room. You have that engagement with the expedition staff. We even had Howard join. We had a little group on that one that we did. And we were kind of all with CruiseOne or other travel agencies. And we kind of got together one night, and the Howard sat with us and we just talked to him about the experience, and it was life-changing. I will never look at a glacier or the weather or an animal the same after doing that.
And like I say, we enjoyed the expedition on Silver Sea. We've got clients that are very loyal to Silver Sea, so we've booked many of them on Silver Sea expeditions. We've done seaborne expeditions. We have a lot of clients that like seaborne. Seaborne is a wonderful expedition line as well. It's a bigger ship. It's not as big an issue in the Arctic as is in Antarctica when they have to do split landings, but we can book all the expedition lines if there's a 1 year partial too.
Well, I have a couple other questions. Are there a lot of ships? Is it like a bunch of ships in the same area? Because I know in Antarctica, they have to look to see what the weather is, and they can only have so many people, and et cetera, et cetera. So are there a lot of ships there? And is there a limit on how many people they can get on the ice?
So this is a small ship. So everyone on this ship can be off the ship at the same time and can be ashore at the same time. So there's not the strict limits that are in Antarctica. It is very rare to see another ship. You're like, oh my gosh, there's another ship over there. So it's not like when we pulled up to Texas Bar, there were 3 other ships disembarking their 300 passengers, like the Caribbean. No, we were the only ones there. We did a couple times see some other ships like way in the distance, and we get out our binoculars and try to figure out what ship that was. There are some companies that
it's not as heavily
yachts.
traveled as Antarctica is.
Right.
Yeah. And there are some companies that charter yachts. So you'll see like a sailboat, and we asked our expedition guy, what's that sailboat doing? And they're like, oh, somebody chartered them. There's probably a family or a corporate group on that ship, and there's probably 25 people.
Yeah.
So but it's very rare. You hardly see anybody else.
Right.
So and you notice that interview with Heather where she was standing on the Zodiac, how quiet it was. There are some places where it's so quiet. Literally, all you hear is the sound of the glacier ice bubbling, as you're getting next to it, or you're standing on a hill and it's the most peaceful thing. You don't see any other people than the people from your ship for as far as the eye can see. So it really, really is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Did you have some
Any
other
more
questions?
Lisa?
Nope. I'm good.
Okay. And I me, I'm the life of the party on the big ships. And I did this for the first time, and I was like, this is not my last expedition cruise. This is definitely not. This is something, I obviously, because of the price point, can't necessarily do it every year, but it's something that I will do many times in my life.
I think we've done 5 so far, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone
So
else have a question?
Any other questions? Okay, well, I toggle over to my contact page. There's my toll-free number and my email. If you're interested in booking this, please reach out to me, give me a call, send me an email. I'm more than happy to put together a quote just for you to review and take a look at. And then again, if you have any additional questions about Aurora and what our experience was like with them, we are more than happy to share it with you. And again, give you the comparisons to the other expedition lines that we have done. They are definitely our preferred provider for Svalbard and Antarctica because of that just absolutely immersive experience that they offer. So with that, we'll go ahead and end the recording.